MC Hammer versus Jay-Z. You always hear about MC Hammer being a sellout, but MC Hammer had one of the most gangster hip hop movements of all of hip hop movements. So we're gonna compare Jay-Z to MC Hammer. Who's a sellout? What's a sellout? Let's dig deep.
We thought, we go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all.
Can't Touch This by MC Hammer.
Okay, and why do you like that one?
Because it's raging and he's funky. Funky dance steps.
Now, okay, no, but there's parents out there listening to this that think he's serious. Why is the audience laughing? I want to ask you, why do so many people get on Hammer? I mean, the man sold 10 million records.
I'm not getting on Hammer, and I'm not going to say he did sell 10 million records, but crack fiends bought 10 million rocks. That don't mean crack is good.
Jay-Z has consistently showed us time after time again that for him it's going to be partnership over principle. We remember when he backdoored a Dame Dash, you know, when he made those partnerships in his own favor. Then we seen when Colin Kaepernick was going through it with the NFL and ended up being blackballed. He didn't come to his defense. And now right in the middle of our very own people, his very own people, being in the middle of a Target boycott, he is partnering with Target.
Jay's not bigger than Eminem. Jay doesn't have more power than Eminem. He tried to blackball 50 from the Super Bowl.
Jay-Z told Dr. Dre or Eminem that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago.
He would do funny, funky stuff like that.
MC Hammer's media persona versus Jay-Z's media persona. When you actually dig deep, it's not what you think.
We'll go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all. I heard him
because he's a brother and he's making his mail. But, however, he's diluting rap. You know what I'm saying? He's he's playing that Sambo role, and the reason everybody's buying his record is because he's no threat, and everybody want to see Sambo dance.
It's crazy how Tupac initially was dissing MC Hammer to end up working with him.
You're dancing, you're rapping, you're singing, right? Television, movies, and then you're in the studio with Death Row and Pac.
Oh, it actually, Death Row, Suge. I knew Suge before there ever was a Death Row, and he also toured, was on my Let's Get It Started tour, and another tour with us. So it wasn't probably public facing. It was like out of nowhere.
Sure.
But I used to have Suge in my room at nighttime all the time on tour, and then he'd ride on my bus. So I know and knew Suge extremely well before the official Death Row relationship. Mm-hmm. And then Pac obviously was from the town.
Sure.
Spent a tremendous amount of time up there in the Bay Area with us, and that was my little homeboy. So, yeah. So public facing, it might have been new, but behind the scenes, we already all connected.
Right.
Everybody was all connected.
And it was just work. It was song after song, recording after recording. It never stopped.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I was in there with the arguably the most prolific artist in the history of hip hop.
Sure.
His ability to, Pac could do 7 songs in a day.
Insane.
And they be quality songs.
That's a gift, isn't it?
And he had that gift. And so, to be a part of that and to have him also, give me some beautiful jewels. He would come in, or I would come in sometime and they say, press the button. And I'd be like, what's happening? Pac came in early this morning and he did this song and he said he wants you to do this song. And I'd listen to the song and I'd be like, man, this is crazy. And it would be, like unconditional love.
Right.
And, if you listen or if I articulate that first verse, come listen to my truest thoughts, my truest feelings. All my peers are doing years behind all these killings. How many bodies must we witness before we see it's hard to live this life without God? So we must ask forgiveness. Ask mama why I got an urge to die, and witness the tears flowing free from her eyes before she could reply. For we were all born without a silver spoon. My broken down TV shows cartoons in my living room. One day I hope to make it a player in this game. Mama, don't cry, long as we try. Maybe things will change. Perhaps it's just a fantasy, a life where we don't need welfare and we share with our own families. Maybe it's me that caused it, the fighting and the hurting, in my room crying because I didn't want to be a burden. Watch my mama open up her arms and hug me, and I ain't worried about a damn thing because she still loves me. In this game, it's lessons for your eyes to see. Though things change, the future is still inside of me. We must remember that tomorrow comes after the dark, so you will always be in my heart with unconditional love.
My guy.
Tupac wrote that and came and gave that to me and said, I need you to do this for me because our people need this.
Sure. Damn.
And so, wow, that was the kind of things that was happening in the studio at that time. Rest in peace.
Everybody talking about they down the ride. Now the Hammers wasn't too tight, but I don't think they know what we got tonight. Show them Hammer 'cause you're too tight.
We put it together.
Okay.
Who producing that part? No, it's me and Jose Puente. Ricardo. It's really his project, but he let me ride with him on this minority exchange program.
But Too Short had no idea that Hammer was involved in rapping until he released his song Let's Get It Started.
We were at odds, so to speak, at a young time, but it wasn't like violence or anger. It was more like just, the local competition.
We can't forget about that time when Redman was talking trash about MC Hammer and MC Hammer pulled up.
Yo MTV Raps. Yeah, Yo MTV Raps. When the last episode they shot, when they had everybody rapping on it, MC Hammer was there. That nigga approached me. He was like, Red, I'm gonna tell you something, you young, but I don't allow nobody talking about my mama. You understand me? I said, yes, sir. Because, yo, we was already in Oakland with EPMD, and we damn near had to bounce up out of there for that. Because they had niggas back here, back here, back here. We had to get the fuck out of here. They wasn't playing. We was almost boxed in. And I'm at a young age, too. Yes, sir, MC Hammer. In other words, I got the message.
Well, he didn't want me to, they worked to make like there was an issue with me in the NFL that doesn't exist. And then when M says he's not gonna do it if I'm not there, let's go. Yeah. I don't understand that. Like,
Fifth is right up there with Jay. Jay never sold 11 million, bro. What are you talking about? He has 10 albums. This guy doesn't know his hip hop, bro.
No, he doesn't.
He has
understand.
a million copies. Look it up because the Black Album probably did 1 million, bro.
look, when Jay signed his contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man.
Jay's presentation is good. I think 50 always has the best presentation.
He's on Love in the news a lot. I remember you and him had some kind of disagreement online. Where did y'all go wrong at? What do you remember?
Even if I fuck with you, don't fuck with you, I gotta tell you what really happened. And he was trying to say Jay-Z really wasn't getting no money in the street. And that all his raps was cap. It's a facade. And nah, it wasn't like that. He wasn't getting no bread. And I'm like, nigga. I went to that man's house and he had piranhas in a fish tank with the fish tank being in the wall. And they had no motherfucking album or nothing. Now I can't sit here and act like I seen Jay-Z sell a dime bag. But I seen shit with a lot of shit that was going on, and I won't get into detail on this show. But more of the story is you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna say the man wasn't getting no money.
So my monthly payroll was over $500,000 a month. So a lot of my money was spent on trying to build a business that was unsuccessful.
So he had a whole lot of friends, and well, he thought they were friends, that he tried to bring with him. And then when the money started leaving, then that's how you can tell, who your friends are.
When you're dealing with lots of money, you're dealing with a lot of people. And when you're dealing with a lot of people, you're dealing with a lot of personalities, and you don't know who's who. And that was the biggest part about dealing with a lot of money. You can't watch everybody. And when you can't watch everybody, watch out.
I remember going to Hammer and saying, yo, there are rumors, man, that you kind of spending, like crazy. And Hammer was like, oh, don't believe that. But they say, yo, you throwing some mad dollars around, man. And he, oh, crazy rumors.
But the rumors were true, and some of the most extravagant spending went into his elaborate 6-bedroom mansion, perched on a 12-acre site overlooking his old neighborhood.
I remember we were living right down the hill from here in a little small apartment, and he would look out the window all the time, and he would say, that's where I'm gonna live. That's where I'm gonna live.
Hammer and Stephanie bought the best of everything, including a bathtub that seats 8 with solid gold faucets, $68,000 just for mirrors, $1 million worth of imported Italian marble, and $3 million for all the indoor and outdoor pools and fountains.
I guess when you start seeing something and you're building it for you, you want everything the best in there. And we realize now that the best is not always the most expensive. Yeah, 10 million was a little too much. Just a little. Nah.
So you spend all this money and you just read about it, you're like, man, how can one person put that much money into one thing?
Hammer's dream house turned out to be a bad investment. It's on the market and expected to sell for around $6 million, a loss of over $4 million.
It took Jay-Z nearly 20 years to sell 11 million copies. MC Hammer sold 20 million in his first couple albums. What is the definition of a sellout? Let's talk about it. And if we're talking about selling out, if selling out is being in bed with corporate America, then how do we explain this? Mary J. How do we explain the 70s? I mean, come on, look at some of these commercials.
Now, we all know Hammer loves popcorn chicken. Well, right now, KFC is offering the Super Pack Combo. It's a small popcorn chicken, small fries, and a Pepsi for just $4.69. And for a limited time, we'll throw in a 16-stick Super Pack of Trident gum free. So, Hammer, what do you think about that? Let's go. We figured. The KFC Super Pack Combo, just $4.69, but only for a limited time.
Made the Taste Mask. 360 degrees of pure wing rotation for hands-free wing eating.
Chicken wraps.
Mary?
Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, 3 cheeses. You know what I'm here for.
I'm Saweetie, and this is my McDonald's order.
Oh yeah, coming through with my Shaolin crew. 2 cents for a case, give me St. Nas brew. In the midst of broken bottles and crushed up cans, met the cows in the jam, oh how dry I am.
Went and did it, so mash out and get a glass. Then finally got his own, he called it Doug's ass.
A can or two, there with my food is magnificent, plus it's mellow. And for the rest of the commercial, pass the mic to my fellow. For a mic check, bust it, the team's on set to grab a 40. To put him New York and snap his neck, say on.
I know you're thinking, God damn, what you drinking? The cooking leather. No wonder beer feel better.
Ice Cube in the glass house, headed for the stove. To get a beer that's better than the rest. The ST period, IGE to the F. Give me that proof, fool. It's a full-time
Your folk die. The veterans of medicine. Natural fruit juices, that alcohol beverage.
With the G to the E to the T.
Now here it comes, Duke. I play the game where it's no rules. Homies on the custody, I'm a fool cause I drink fruit.
Quick to bust a cap on the eyes, bro. Bushwick on the go with a blow to the eyes, show.
Willie D, that's me. Little Smith, one stop parking South Central.
Just hit the corner store, you know what I'm looking for. St. Tonight you're still a bachelor. Tomorrow's almost here, so why you still a free man? Let's bring on the beer. On this night to remember, it's so clear. You did.
He's a boy. Come see, our party has more. The bull has more days than beer.
When you're up and down, all around, try to find the best moment, girl. When you're looking around, you better look out for the ball.
Rufus Johnson with a brand new dance. I'm talking about the bullseye. Flip smart liquor, bullseye. Y'all ready? Here we go. Raise your right leg, then you put it down. Move your left leg forward, and your body too. Do what comes natural when the bull's after you. Now you move your head from side to side. Get slit small liquor and do the bullseye. Yeah.
You know, I've always heard about the power of Colt 45, but I was never sure exactly what that meant. So I got some, found out for myself.
Hey, Billy, you free tonight?
He's my man. He's so fine and dear. I treat him right. With his favorite beer.
Bull. Bull? Girls, let me turn you on to the big bull. We sip and make it clear the bull's got more taste than beer.
Well, that's urban renewal for you. Did you come here often? If unique is what you think. Colt 45.
Nobody can sing you like you. Now that's what.
What's going down besides beer? Oh, man, I'll turn this place into a car wash. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. Got more taste than beer. More quality ingredients than premium beer.
Back up, cause it's on. Can you do what we do when we sipping on the brew? Conjunction, junction. What's my assumption? I'm sipping on the same notch brew. That's my function.
Now that we got jobs, things are the way they supposed to be. That's our brand. Get it in a 40-ounce
Now with this new revelation that he's not only in the Epstein files with a very serious allegation, but also to know that Jeffrey Epstein and his colleagues were talking about Jay-Z quite a bit. And it seems as though they admired his business model, hence this email right here. This email from Jess Staley, who is this man, to Jeffrey Epstein, basically is alleging that the only reason America isn't in an uproar with a bunch of protests and, taking over the government is because the group that would be doing that, Black people, have been bought off by Jay-Z. Now, there's no mention of whether or not this was a plan of theirs, if they sent him to do that, but there are certain instances and circumstances throughout the years that could lead us to that conclusion. For example, when Brooklyn wanted to build the Barclays Center, there was a lot of pushback from people who lived there. They said that it would basically take away housing from poor Black people. Black people in Brooklyn eventually got on board with the idea of the Barclays Center coming to Brooklyn with the promise of it providing jobs and things like that. But the major reason was because Jay-Z was involved and they saw him as the face of it all. They saw Jay-Z being the guy that was trying to build Barclays Center for Brooklyn, despite the fact that he only had a 0.5% of ownership in the company. Jay-Z eventually went on to sell his ownership in the Barclays Center several years later, but there is another example of Jay-Z possibly selling us out. Back in 2016, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee to protest police brutality against Black people in America, everyone was up in a roar. White supremacists were saying that they couldn't believe he did that and wanted him punished. Black people were applauding him for doing it and took his side. The NFL was in a very, very sticky situation, and they had people from both sides that they kind of had to answer to. On one hand, you have white supremacists who are threatening to never watch the NFL again, boycotting games, burning their jerseys. And then on the other hand, you have Black people who stood with Colin Kaepernick and basically said that they would do the same if he was punished for his protest. Both fan bases were extremely needed in order for the NFL to succeed. And somehow the NFL was in the middle of all of this. They had to make both parties happy. So what did they do? Called in Jay-Z. They got Jay-Z to basically make a statement and say, it's time for us to move past this protest. It's been 3 years. Nothing has come of this. We need to move forward.
I know who Hammer was affiliated with, and he wouldn't have to pay to tell somebody else. His people would just do it. We from Oakland.
Oh, you gonna talk about my dancing pants? I see you. And he will whoop a nigga out.
Run up on him.
Hammer beat you.
I bet he'll beat your.
Come on, run up on Ham.
Whoever was on the phone said, hey, is third base still coming to L.A.? And she said, yes. And the boy said, good, they're dead, and hung up the phone.
Hammer was a big dog, man. He got respect in the streets. He came from a respected crew. And they handled business, him and his brother Lewis and the crew.
He said, yo, Joe, I let it go.
His entourage was something like I never seen in my life. It was literally more than 100 people, probably.
That's actually how he.
But it was girls, guys, gangsters, dancers, everybody.
Everything was kind of pointing to his brother as being kind of like, the gangster in that crew.
He played that part.
I believe they identified that the call was from Hammer's brother, Louis Burrell.
His brother gangster.
Lou was correct. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? He's an intelligent gangster. You feel me?
We was already in Oakland with EPMD, and we damn near had to bounce up out of there for that. Because they had niggas back here.
MC Hammer and the gang war in Oakland in the early 90s.
Everybody knew that I had 200 employees. It wasn't no secret. So what you think? I was paying them in hamburgers? Somebody was paying that payroll. I was doing that. So if you wanted to now say the story is MC Hammer just pissed his money off when you knew that I was employing 200 people for my community, it said more about you than it did about me. We were dying. This is the real thing. It's not fake. Go and look at the murder rate in my city at the time. Some of the people that were dying were my classmates, my neighbors. So when I had the Hammer thing, I would literally call home. I'd be on the road. I'd call home. I say, hey, what John doing? What you mean what John doing? John dead. I said, what you mean John is dead? I just talked to him 2 weeks ago. He said, yeah, John dead and Sam killed him. Sam lived 2 houses down from John killed him. Let me speak to Sam then. Hey, Sam, man, check this out, man. Why? Well, I said, why don't you come out here on the road with me, man? I can give you $30,000 a year. I can't give you what you're making on the block, but, man, I can't have you keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you killing the very cats we grew up with. Well, 10 turned to 20, 20 turned to 30. I'm cool with that. I was cool with that because the amount of money that I was generating was worth the lives to me. If a guy that you know in the middle of the crack era, when everybody was dying, machine guns everywhere, decided he wanted to try to pull some guys out of that, if his fate is to be the guy who we're going to introduce for the next 14 years is, hey, we're going to talk about MC Hammer next, how he pissed off 30 million. Man, that's what you get for trying to contribute to the community.
Background: when MC Hammer came out, I was a child in Oakland, California. My first concert was an MC Hammer concert. Also, because 1992, Oakland had the murder rate. I lived in Oakland in 92. I lost family members that year. But also, Hammer started a baseball league to keep youth out of the streets, and then also to have the teenagers and young adults out of the streets because they were the referees. You know, they were helping organizing. So it helped. I was an MC Hammer kid playing against Hammer Time, and anybody that played POW knew that Hammer Time always had the best squad. But yeah, I'm a Hammer kid, so I actually lived the effect. I remember being a kid, and the gangsters would tell the kids like, nah, stay over there. Like, you don't want none of this. You don't want to be a part of this life. Like, Hammer played a part in that. So I don't know.
What's a music opinion that'll have everybody looking at you crazy?
There is not a year where Jay-Z was indisputably the hottest or the best rapper in the game. Jay-Z came in the game in 1996. I think we can all agree that's Tupac's year. 1997, Biggie died. In 1998, which was kind of his breakout year, DMX had 2 number 1 albums in that year. 1999, DMX again, who outsold Jay-Z by a big margin. Year 2000, Nelly and Eminem both went down. Now, 2001 would have been the best argument, but then Ludacris came in the game with hits like Area Codes, Move, Bitch, Roll Out. 2002, here go Eminem again, dropping the Eminem Show, another diamond album. As well as Nelly dropping another album that sold like 7 million. Jay-Z who? 2003 was obviously 50 Cent's year. He retired, came back in 2006. At that point, T.I. was on top of the game. 2007 undoubtedly goes to Kanye graduation year. Can't be serious. And 2008 to like 2011 clearly goes to Lil Wayne.
That's Wayne.
So at what point was he the hottest rapper in the game?
When Hammer was ending a gang war in Oakland, Jay-Z was adapting the language of a Satanist.
Burying a religion of the Freemasons. And his saying was always was, do what thou wilt, because this shall be the whole of the law. Now remember this quote right here, do what thou wilt. Just remember, do what thou wilt. And look at Jay-Z. Okay, here goes Lady Gaga. Do what thou wilt. Aleister Crowley. Do what you want, Lady Gaga. It's the same shit. Now watch this. Bam, here goes Jay-Z. Do what thou wilt. And he knows what that shit means. So don't ever let them play you like they crazy, be naive that you just put something on just because.
Jay-Z, influenced by Aleister Crowley, boldly sported a shirt declaring, "Do what thou wilt," a command from Crowley's satanic philosophy.
Burying a religion of the Freemasons. And his saying was And the saying always was, do what thou wilt, because this shall be the whole of the law. The making of Jay-Z's Run This Town video, do what thou wilt. You did. You got the shit on. They ain't playing games. That's how you get down. That's how you motherfuckers get their check.
MC Hammer was gonna kick it was on Hot 97. It was me, Michael Sean, and we had an interview with MC Hammer. And we thought it would be funny to joke him the whole morning long, right? Now, he landed at JFK and was driving to the radio station to do the interview. I didn't know that during that drive, he was listening to Hot 97. I bet he doesn't have any money. You know why? Can't touch this. You know, we were just making fun of him. Hammer's gonna come up here and he's gonna start some shit. You know what we better do? We better pray. You know, we was just doing like stuff like that the whole time. Hammer gets to the station. I was like, what? All that shit that you was saying when I was driving up here, say it to my face. And at that moment, my phone started ringing and people started telling me, you know Hammer's a gangster. Don't let that dancing fool you. You know Hammer will fuck you up. And at that moment, I looked at the guy next to him, and he was like a 65, 70-year-old guy, but he had something on him. And they were both standing at the door and would not let me and Michael Sean leave. Rolled up my sleeves, put my hat on low, and said, I apologize, Hammer, my bad. We was just joking, it was just jokes.
Interested in what you guys think, please leave a comment, subscribe, let me know. Thank you for watching.
Hammers, pull them on a rhythm that so many knows enough skills what I give them. I got the dance steps as you pump up in your boombox. The tracks are nothing less than fat now.
Yeah, let's How the fuck you gonna talk about them C's on our hill? And we just cop them things, homie, the chromey wheels.